Hello, super sentence stackers. Welcome to the writing classroom. We have people from all over Scotland, Birmingham, Devon. Thank you for being here. And I know we have people of all ages. You are most welcome. My name is Mrs. Considine and I'm your writing teacher. I'm here to help you with your writing and I will guide you so that we can all make wonderful, delicious, very precise choices about the language we are using. I'm delighted to meet some new precious pen pushers and I'm really pleased that everyone who is here really loves language. Well, like me. Okay, I'm going to explain briefly how super sentence stackers works. It works like this. After you've watched me teach you, after you've watched closely some of the words I've used and some of the advice I'm giving you, I'm going to ask you to watch a film. Today's film is a Pixar short called Partly Cloudy. And if you look in the link below, you'll be able to find a link to that film. What Mrs. C has done is she has watched that film and in her mind, she's cut it into 9 sections. Those are allocated time chunks. And what I need you to do after you've watched me is go and watch the film and choose your chunk. When you're in the super sentence stacking classroom, I don't need you to write a story for the whole film, just the chunk you've chosen. And when you've chosen your chunk and you're comfortable, I want you to get a piece of paper, a pencil or a pen and write your name, your age and the chunk you have chosen. This enables me to sort out all the chunks, all my number 1s, my number 2s, and so on, all the way up to number 9, and then I choose my favourite in that group. I then read them all and spend some time sewing them together so that by 3:30 in the reading room, we have a story for the nation. And yesterday, I can honestly say from the bottom of my heart, our writing yesterday was extraordinary. Now, I really do believe that the quality out there is getting more fierce. And that is, well, I suppose that's what happens when you're in the hands of a good writing teacher. Okay. What I'm going to do now is talk you through the chunk I've chosen. And Mrs. C is going to move so that you can see the writer's brain. I'm going to make my thinking really visible and you'll be able to see the choices I make. You'll see me tossle with words, reject some, keep some and choose wisely as a writer so that my writing is very vivid and descriptive. I'm going to talk through now actually what I want you to do. Every time I ask you to write, I need you to write 9 sentences, no more than 9 for your chunk. You can do less than 9, that's okay. Every day there are writing challenges and the writing challenges come from the writing rainbow. Let me introduce you to the writing rainbow. It's here. Now, the writing rainbow is organised into 3 sections and we choose a lens from each of these sections. And many of you know this writing rainbow in your school. Don't worry, if it's not in your school, you can still do really well in the writing classroom. Up here, on the top tier, are the fantastics. These are the 9 ideas for writing. They help a writer with richness in their writing. They help it have more senses entwined within it. And we always choose one of these either through our challenge or through the words we're choosing. The next area we look at in the writing classroom is the grammar of writing. And there'll be certain things that I want you to do in how you structure your sentences. And the third tier here is all about the techniques of writing. And sometimes I ask you to think about, like we did yesterday, alliteration, the same sounds at the beginnings of words. Okay, I've chosen today the 3 writing challenges, and I'm going to talk you through them. The first one today is all about adverbial phrases, but a particular type of adverbial phrase. Today, I am on the lookout for prepositional phrases. Now, I don't want you to panic when I say prepositional phrases, because there's a little clue there. It's got the word position in it. So we are looking out today, and we're going to include them in our writing, positioning words. Words like next to, around, besides, under, those sort of things. And I'm going to help you actually start a sentence with a positioning word, but I'm here to help you. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. The second writing challenge, and we've done this before, but don't worry if it's your first time here, we're going to have a go at building a word with a hyphen. And we are going to create a little bit of metaphorical thinking where we're going to use 2 words, push them together so the reader sees them as a unit, and that hyphen helps a reader see a unit of meaning. I'm going to help you do that as well. And then the third writing challenge, and I think you're going to be really good at this, we're going to ask a rhetorical question. We're going to lace our writing with a question that almost urges the reader's involvement. Yeah, I wonder how they are going to get on with that. You know, with a kind of challenging the reader's thinking. And our 3 question words that I'm going to ask you to have a go at, maybe using one of these, is going to be how, that's one of them, should, and what. Okay. Now, the other thing we have to agree, so that our story has really good cohesion and it flows when I join it all up together, we have to agree we're going to write a 3rd person narrative. So we're going to name our characters. Our characters today are going to be Gus, who's the grey cloud in Partly Cloudy. And the other character is going to be called Peck. And Peck is the stork. Now, these need to have capital letters because it's their names and they are proper nouns. The other sort of thing I would like to see in your writing is pronouns like he and they. Okay. I think I'm going to get started now. And I want you to notice, as I start writing, I want you to do a few things. I want you to listen and watch really closely, because the writing advice I'm giving you here will help you in your chunk. I also want you to think about making jottings like an author would. When you speak to any famous author about what helps their writing, they're always jotting down words, thinking about little chunks of language that might help their writing. So as you are watching and listening, it might be handy to have a pencil or a pen in your hand and just make some little notes of words that you feel yourself, that you stick to. Because words are the most important thing of all in the craft of writing. Okay, you're going to see me now do some writing, and I'm going to let you look inside the writer's brain. I'm just going to remove these big symbols so you can have and see a blank page with me as I start to craft and construct. I am today thinking about chunk 4. And this is the part of the film when we get more insight into Gus, our character, and what his role is and what his job is. But I want to take the reader's eye line up into the clouds. And you know, a bit like the film does, you know, it goes beyond the streets and goes up above. And so I'm going to think of some positioning words. I've probably just said some there already. I just said up, didn't I? I'm going to write that down, up. I just said, and these is kind of pointing the reader's eye upwards. Up, I said above. So I'm going to write that down. And this word, high. I'm going to move over to my thesaurus thinking board now because I just want to check out some synonym phrases that will take us into the sky. So I'm going to start with this idea, but see if I can finish them. So let's just write above. Oh, I know what I could put with that. Above the streets and houses. Above the streets and houses. Oh, I like that, Mrs. C. Okay, so above the streets and houses. The other word I've got here is up. Up in the sky. Oh, that's a good idea. Up in the sky. And here, high. What could I have with high? High in the stratosphere. High in the stratosphere. Okay, I'm going to start with that. As you can all see, I've already written down chunk 4. I've already told you that, so you know that's where my thinking is. And here I'm going to start. I love high in the stratosphere. High in the stratosphere. Stratosphere. Oh, can just think about that spelling. I might come back and look at that, check I've spelt it properly. High in the stratosphere, comma, taking the reader's eye line up there. And now I want to describe the sky. The fact that almost we can't see the edge of it. Maybe a word like endless. I'm going to go to my thesaurus thinking board now and see if that is exactly the word I want to use. It's quite a good word, isn't it? Endless. Let me write it down. Endless. Limitless. Oh, that's a good word in that family. The limitless sky. The measurer. The measureless sky. I'm not even sure if that's a word. So I'm going to put a question mark there. I feel like it should be a word, measureless. I definitely know boundless is. The endless sky, the limitless sky. I'm not going to use that because I'm a little bit uncertain. I do love boundless though. The boundless sky. High in the stratosphere, the boundless sky. Oh, the boundless sky. The boundless, maybe I don't put sky there. The boundless, comma, blue sky, blue sky. The boundless blue sky. The boundless blanket of blue sky. That sounds good. The boundless blanket of blue sky. Oh, and now I've got the word blanket. I could introduce other words like to lead me into the clouds being there. The blanket of blue sky was laced with clouds, was sewn with clouds, was embroidered with clouds. A little stretch there of that image. The blanket of blue sky was laced with clouds. Oh, Mrs. C, that's a good start. Well done, you've started with these preposition idea. High in the stratosphere, the boundless blanket of blue sky was laced with clouds. Okay, I now don't want to drift too far away from the central character, so I'm now going to make sure Gus is kind of at the heart of this. So I'm going to start with Gus here, and he can be the subject of the sentence. Gus, and I also want the reader to know he is different. He is different from the other clouds. He's different, but he does have his talents. So I'm going to put those two ideas together. Gus had different talents. Different talents to the other. Now, they are more than clouds, aren't they? They're really important in this story. They've got an important job and an important role, breathing new life into creatures and having them delivered down into people's homes. So Gus had different, oh, Mrs. C, I've wanted to say talents. I got excited and I didn't write it down. Gus had different, and then I think I've written it and put an S on the end. I'm going to cross that out. This is why it's so important to reread your work. Gus had different talents to the other. I'm going to have a go now at cleverly using a hyphen to introduce this idea that they are clouds, but they're also creators. Let me have a go at seeing if I can do a little bit of an imaginative new hyphenated word. So what I probably need is a collection of words that kind of mean clouds. So I could have puff. I could have mist. I could have, well, cloud, let's write that one down, that's a good one, and wisp. And then, if I imagine in here is where I could put my hyphen to join them together, I could then collect words that do mean a creator. Let me see what I've got here. Puff creators, mist sculptors, cloud moulders, wisp makers. And do you know what's really good here? I can move the words around and create different hyphenated words. I could have wisp sculptors. I could have cloud creators. Oh, I like that one, cloud creators. So, Gus had different talents to the other cloud creators. Oh, I love that invented little hyphenated word there. It's a really kind of instant little bit of metaphorical language. I love it. Gus had different talents to the other cloud creators, full stop. His job was to imbue, infuse, breathe. I like infuse. His job was to infuse life into, and this is where we've got to really tell the reader what's happening, into the, well, they seem to be the naughty creatures, don't they? So let's see if I can capture that. His job was to infuse life into the harmful, hazardous, and we need a word, because it's not just that they have sharp teeth or claws or big tails. It's also that they're a little bit wild. I need words for that. I'm going to go to my thesaurus thinking board and see if I can get the right word for the job here. Let's have a little go at that. Yeah, they're kind of the naughties. They are unruly. That's a good word. Unruly. Wayward. Boisterous. That is an excellent word. Oh, it's a bit tricky to spell though. It's hard to know where the O and the I go, but I'm gonna try my best. And I might check that. And then this is a brilliant word, rambunctious. I actually like boisterous. His job was to infuse life into the harmful, hazardous and boisterous creatures. Mrs. C knows about boisterous creatures. In fact, all teachers do, because children can be boisterous creatures too. Wow. Now, I'm going to finish off with a question. These are really good words to help introduce a question. I want now that our eye turns slightly to how Peck is feeling. The stork, who is often getting hurt by these creatures who are a little bit wayward and wild. Should he carry on with his job? What should Peck do? I'm going to do a how one, I think. How will, and I could say Peck here, but I want to drop an adjective here to describe Peck. But actually this adjective I'm going to drop reveals how he's feeling. Now this needs to be a negative feeling word. Let's have a go at that. So on the shadeometer, we are going to think about some negative feeling words. I really love it when people in the chat come up with ideas, because some of you have got some great ideas and you're thinking and you're handing them in, and we can see those and it gives us good ideas. We're like a writing community, helping each other. So some negative words to describe how Peck is feeling. He feels, oh, poor Peck, weary Peck, exhausted Peck. This, worn out, not too bad. Oh, this is a good word, frazzled. Frazzled. It's one of my favourite words, in fact, frazzled. How will frazzled Peck manage manage any more. Any more, it's about quantity, it's one word, any more deliveries. Oh, or any more, would it be better, any more dangerous cargo? Any more dangerous cargo, that's a better idea. Any more dangerous cargo. Mustn't forget my question mark. And I'm going to go back and reread this because Mrs. C, like all writers, have a habit of missing things out, spelling things wrong, and everything needs a bit of a check. High in the stratosphere, the boundless blanket of blue sky was laced with clouds. Gus had different talents to the other cloud creators. His job was to infuse life into the harmful, hazardous and boisterous creatures. How will Frazzled Peck manage any more dangerous cargo? Oh, I'm pleased with that. I am really looking out today for, actually, because we've never done this before, those prepositional, those positioning words. And I'm really looking forward to reading your writing. I'll see your writing at 12:30 because you'll hand it back to me by 12:30, and if you put the hashtag Super Sentence Stackers, you can get it to me on Twitter at Jane Considine, and you can get it to me on Facebook at The Training Space. I will always read your writing, and remember to put your chunk onto it. Well, my precious pen pushers, my splendid sentence selectors, your writing impresses me more and more each day. And I will see you next in the reading room at 3:30 when I will read the nation's story and you get to find out if you are in the roll call of finalists. Thank you, everybody. See you at 3:30.